Hi guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show. We're going to be chatting about stuff coming in for the 29th of September 2021. So before we get started, just on what's new into the store this week, another wonderful delivery story from Diamond. Once again, about 60 to 70 issues turned up damaged. I wasn't going to do a separate video on it just simply because I'm probably just going to sound like a broken record at this point. And as much as you guys want to hear that, I'll save you it. But just to let you guys know, there were a few titles this week that we were really down on copies of. Things like Batman Reptilian, things like Amazing Spider-Man 74, things like Batman Urban Legends, Berserker. A lot of these titles were waiting on fresh ones to be sent. But just to give you an idea of some of the damages, I kid you not, this arrived as a brand new comic. A brand new issue right there. Yeah, you got Batman Urban Legends second printing, square bound but still an absolute mess. You know, Amazing Spider-Man just completely bent at the corners. Zero care given, which is incredibly frustrating to say the least. But again, it's just something I have to deal with on a weekly basis. So yeah, so there might be a couple of titles that aren't on the racks that we would have liked to have been in the racks. There might be the odd thing missing from pull lists this week, but everything's been noted. Everything has been itemized so that I can then put it in the pull lists once we've received our top up. So I have asked them to be sent this week. Who knows? They may arrive this week. They may arrive in 5 weeks' time. Who knows? The joys of Diamond Comic Distributors. But anyway, I'm going to move away from the negative and onto the positive because loads of good stuff come in this week. Tons of graphics, some nice hardcovers, some nice omnibuses, a whole pile of stuff come in this week. So just kick things off, first of all, I went a little bit old school with some of the things I ordered. So we have the X-Files Classic. So these are reprints of the first season episodes of the X-Files. They're always divided into volumes. So we got a couple of volume 2s in, which included Space, Fire, one of the greatest ever X-Files episodes, if you know, you know, Beyond the Sea, to do with the death of Scully's father, and Shadows as well. So they're really nice, these hardcover copies, and those are printed by IDW. Also from IDW, we got the second hardcover in of the most recent Transformers relaunch. So this one's called The Change in Your Nature. We're continuing with issues 13 to 18 of Transformers, but also a 6-issue mini-series, which was Transformers Galaxies. So they're releasing these again in IDW, nice hardcovers. We've got the first volume there as well, so if you fancy a good jumping on point for Transformers, those hardcovers are a great way to go. First volume out for the incredibly hyped, incredibly over-the-top, incredibly violent Berserker from Kenny Reeves and Matt Kent, Ron Garney on art. So this is the first volume. This includes issues 1 to 4, and then issue 5 is out this week of the single issue series. Next up, we've got the next volume, and I believe this is the last volume of Jerry Duggan and Phil Noto's Cable. This was a 12-issue mini-series. Issues 1 to 6 were in volume 1, and now we have volume 2 there as well this week. This was a really good series from Vault Comics. This was called The Devil's Red Bride. This was like a mystical samurai story. It was something I collected the single issues of myself. Something very, very different from comics. Always a good example of something to, you know, chat to people about if, for example, they think comics are all just superheroes. Really good storytelling that. Back in stock this week, Die Volume 1. We've had 2 and 3 on the shelves for a little while, but I've been struggling to get volume 1 back in, but I ordered plenty. So if you fancy getting into Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hand's brilliant role-playing adventure, this is the first volume back in stock. And incidentally, the last issue is out this week of Die, which is issue 20. A couple of hardcovers just to show you now. I ordered big this week on Miss Marvel. So these are the G. Willow Wilson hardcover volumes of Miss Marvel. So volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. This is some great storytelling. This was a little bit of an era of Marvel which I really enjoyed, where the fringe titles were some of the best. So things like Miss Marvel, things like the Wade Samney Daredevil, things like the Fraction Asia Hawkeye, things like the All Reds and Dan Slott doing Silver Surfer. These were sort of the fringe titles in that they weren't Spider-Man or Avengers or Fantastic Four, but they were fantastic, and I'm a big, big fan of that run. Back in stock as well, Batman Damned, the first Black Label title, of course, in all its hardcover glory. So Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo on that one. Then we've got a nice big pile here. So next up we have Fight Club 2. I'd put it on a few weeks ago that we got Fight Club 3 in. The sequel to this one, obviously. So we've now got volume 2 in as well. So this is a direct sequel to the movie. Chuck Palahniuk writing and Cameron Stewart on art. A series that I really enjoyed from a few years back, and I've been trying to get these in for a little while as well, is called 5 Ghosts. This is from Frank J. Barbier and Chris Mooneyham on art. And it's essentially about a guy who's very much an Indiana Jones type. But what he can do is he can summon the abilities of 5 very different past masters of things, so to speak. So he can call on like the archery skills of Robin Hood. He can call on the detective skills of Sherlock Holmes. He can call on the samurai skills of a Ronin, the vampiric skills of Dracula, etc., etc. So really, really good series. It was only 3 volumes in total. I think it ran about 18 issues, I want to say. Thereabouts. But yeah, cracking storytelling. And that was an Image title from maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Next up, we have the very timely, I would say, social media conscious horror story, I Breathe the Body, from Zach Thompson, Andy McDonald. This is the kind of thing that'll make you think, this series. I really enjoyed this. It's all about the dangers of social media. It's all about how it can be manipulated. Really, really good stuff, so it is. Next up is one, I've got a copy of this for myself. This is called The Autumnal, and this is a horror series from Vault Comics. It's part of their Nightfall range, which is their horror range, and this is something I'm really looking forward to. It's got loads of good reviews. I tried to source the single issues a little while back, but again, with Vault Comics can be a little bit tricky, but it just looks great, and I had a wee flick through the art earlier, and it is pretty gorgeous. A little bit of superhero stuff for you now. We have Wonder Woman, Agent of Peace, Volume 1, Global Guardians. So we're moving into a little bit of Wonder Woman stuff. Some great talent involved here. You've got Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, always work together. Husband and wife team, always do great work together. You've also got Daniel Sampere in there doing art as well. So it's chapters 1 to 11 of what was a digital series of Wonder Woman all together there. So yeah, some really good Wonder Woman stuff there. A classic we had to get back in stock. We had sold out last week, but we have Spider-Man Life Story from Chipsadorsky and Mark Begley. I probably don't need to sell you on this because it is just quite simply one of the best Spider-Man series ever made, and that is no short praise. I feel like I'm showing this off every week, but back in stock again is Something Is Killing the Children, volumes 1, 2, and 3. These just keep selling out every single week, and every single week they're back on my order form. New Aftershock title coming to trade, which is Scout's Honor, from David P. Pose and Luca Casalanguida. This was a cracking wee series all about how the Scouts were the most prepared for any sort of apocalypse that would happen upon the world. Really, really good storytelling. I dug that. It was 5 issues in total, and just a lot of fun. Gorgeous art as well. Next volume of Reign of X is this week as well. So again, if you're reading Hickman's X-Men, you go from House and Powers of 10 to the Dawn of X stuff. Then you have X of Swords, and then after that you have Reign of X. So we're up to volume 4 of that. Another one of my favourites of this year, this is Haha, and Sad Clown Stories as well. This is from W. Maxwell Prince, who made a really big name for himself through Ice Cream Man. And Haha is basically a 6-issue horror anthology, but every issue is a different clown story. And this was brilliant. Every issue had a different artist as well, and tackled sort of different genres or different types of clown, if you will. But I really, really dug that, and that's everything all in one place. Another one up there this year is The Good Asian. We've banged on about this on the podcast. We chat about it a lot on store from Pontai Pisha Show. Brilliant noir storytelling set back in the 30s and 40s. Just brilliant storytelling. It's set in Chinatown. It's all about a Chinese man who's now an American cop who is not trusted by those close to him because they feel he's turning his back on his race and on his people and becoming a cop. And just, yeah, brilliant storytelling. And issue 5 is out this week as well. That covers issue 1 to 4. A couple of wee top-ups for stuff hasn't been in for a while. We've got Dark Knight's Metal, The Dark Knight's Rising. So this is the trade paperback collection of all of the origin stories for all the Dark Knight's Batman from the first Dark Knight's Metal. So Batman Who Laughs, Red Death, Devastator, Drown, Dawnbreaker, Murder Machine, Merciless, and so forth. So some great storytelling in that. I'm particularly partial to the Murder Machine, which is the amalgamation of Cyborg's abilities with Bruce Wayne's brain. Another one back in stock, The Batman Who Laughs. This was the 7-issue miniseries from the brilliant team of Scott Snyder and Jock. This was very much the follow-up to Dark Knight's Metal as well. Got a few wee Red Hood trades in this week as well. So some Red Hood and the Outlaws, who is Artemis story arc. We have the Bizarro Reborn story arc. And then we also have the Unspoken Truth story arc. So a little bit of love for Jason Todd and Red Hood. Starting to top up those shelves, a little bit of that. I'd mentioned metal, of course, so you also have the Road to Metal. So this is where all the metal stuff begins right here, whether it's Dark Knight's metal or whether it's Dark Knight's death metal. It all begins here with the Road to Metal. So if you want to get into that world and into that big event, that's where you start. Also, Batman and Harley Quinn. This is Ty Templeton and Rick Burchett. This is a very classic, all ages Batman Harley Quinn tale. Much better than the absolutely awful Batman Harley Quinn movie, but we don't need to get into that. But yeah, it's a very classic sort of animated series storytelling there. And then just wanted to finish off with another Aftershock one. Quite a few Aftershock hitting this week from Elliot Rahal and Matteo Monaco. This was Knock 'em Dead, which was all about a stand-up comedian who wasn't very funny. And then he essentially, someone dies close to him and he inherits their skills with the mic and their sense of humor, and suddenly they're amazing. So it's all about that whole, selling your soul for your ability. How far would you go to, get what you want, that sort of thing. So yeah, all going onto the shelves for tomorrow, so they are. I'll be sticking up a separate pull list video, hopefully either today or tomorrow. Might be a little bit behind on that, just it's been a very, very busy day, lots going on. But all of those on the racks tomorrow, along with all the new releases. As I say, just be mindful of a few things that might be missing this week. But again, I can keep you updated as you pop into the store regarding that. So anyway, I hope this proved useful as ever. Anything catches your eye as ever, just drop us a message. And outside of that, I hope you guys are all keeping well. I'll look forward to seeing you in the store soon. So take it easy.